Where did they go wrong?
Because they did 6
halves
and
minus 1 half, and that's 5 halves, which makes
yeah.
What is 6 halves equivalent to?
3.
3. So they changed the number completely. So they knew they needed a common denominator. So that's good.
Took the 6 and was like, I need to use the 6 because it's in the problem. So they just
Maybe.
put 6 halves.
Maybe. So what could you tell this student to check for? Oh, go ahead.
I think they might have done something like 6 times 1 and thought that was what they were supposed to do.
Maybe. Yeah. What could you tell this student? Like if you were helping them. Focus on your numbers. And they're like, okay, now what? I'm focused.
Make sure this and this are equivalent. Like the 6, like your common, whatever you made your common fraction, and just make sure it's equivalent before you do it, probably.
Right. Yeah, that's good advice. So make sure that once you get your common denominator, make sure it's still equivalent. Okay. All right, let us look at the one below that. We have 6/10 minus 4/8.
Wait, what's the little 6?
I don't know. Let's figure out, how did they get to 6/10? What do you think they possibly did?
And well, it's not even a common denominator, so I don't even know what they were trying to do.
They're just like,
Did they use multiplication, or did they maybe use addition or something?
I don't even know what they did.
I think it was like 4 minus 4.
All right, what should they have done?
I mean, they probably should have made it common.
Yeah.
Like 40. It's either 80 or 40 or something.
Okay. How did you get 80?
10 times 8.
Right, 10 times 8. And then what is the, yeah, you can check it by dividing by 2.
8 goes into 40. So
Mm-hmm.
it's 10.
All right, so let's go ahead and turn these into 40s and then rework the problem. Let's turn these into 40s. 40ths. Mm-hmm. Don't forget, it's subtraction. I don't know, can you simplify it? Nice. All right, we all got 1/10. So who wants to talk me through it?
Abby does.
I think Abby too. All right, Abby, what'd you do?
Do math better.
Teach them how to do math better. Let's hear it. How would you do it?
So 6/10 I did times 4.
Okay.
6 times 4 is 24, and 10 times 4 is 3.
Yes.
So 24 40ths, and then for the 8 I did 5. 5 times 4 is 20.
Mm-hmm.
8 times 5 is 40.
Okay.
So that's like also equals a half. And I subtracted the 24 and the 20 to make 4.
Mm-hmm.
4 40ths. Then I simplified it to 1/10.
Good. So for this student, they are not even using multiplication. I'm not exactly sure what they're
I don't
doing.
know what the little numbers are. Like,
Right. It's like they changed the 8 to a 10.
They tried to,
and then they made it a 6.
and then they tried to make the 4 a 6. They tried to make it. They tried to make it 6/10 minus 6.
I think they just added 2 to everything.
Maybe they added 2. So they knew to do the same to the top and bottom.
Yeah.
So that's something.
But 6/10
But
is an
adding,
half,
right.
too. So,
Oh, and yeah, so that's also not equivalent.
yeah.
Yeah.
You should just do this. They should. I don't know. Those guys are very smart.
Well, they were struggling, but they didn't know.
They should just do this.
They attempted to make a common denominator,
This
so
was
we'll
like
give
a
them that.
math Olympiad, where like we didn't know how to do it and we would just like guess.
Just
on how to
try
do it.
something. That's right.
This kid should do this.
All right, let's flip over.
On math Olympiads.
Mhm.
In third grade, I didn't really know how they worked. So whenever we'd have one, I would just guess, and then if the teacher said that's close, I would just guess really close to that
I would
number and
guess
just
like
keep
one
guessing.
higher.
I
or
have
one
I've seen kids doing that. All right, let's look at 7/9 minus 8/9 is 1/9. All right, I'm going to give you some insight into this.
Oh.
They were not given this problem. They wrote the problem. So like they probably had a model, and then this is how they wrote the problem. So what do they need to do?
What if we just flip like the two numbers?
For sure. For sure.
Because then it would make it right.
Yes. So I think they just didn't, they maybe forgot that you have to start with the largest number and then take away the smaller number.
This is what you get.
I mean, but I have definitely seen students do that where they're subtracting and they kind of go upside down or they accidentally add it. I mean, sometimes your brain kind of,
It was like,
Yeah.
that would be negative one.
right. We're not doing negative fractions. No.
That just doesn't make
Okay.
We're doing math Olympiad. Wait, what?
I think Thursday.
Okay, this person's a lot.
Okay. I am looking at 7/12 minus 1/4. 7/12 minus 1/4.
Equals 6/8 equals 3.
Ooh, how did they get, all right, how did they get 6/8? What did they do? All right, let's look just at the 6/8. What did they mistakenly do? All right, hold on. Before you work it, look, let's pause here and see how they could have possibly gotten 6/8.
They just subtracted 7 from 1.
All right, they said 7 minus 1 is 6. And then they said,
minus 4 is 8.
so what big step did they miss?
The common denominators.
Okay, so we are going to find the common denominators and work it out.
This marker's like dead. Can I throw it?
I would like for you to not throw it. Thank you.
That's all right.
Yeah. And stupid.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Abby, I think your suggestion is very helpful. If someone said, fix your math, they would not know what to
If they know how to fix it, they would.
Yeah.
So find a common denominator, I think is sound advice.
Find common. My handwriting was so bad that my mom went on Amazon and got like a free handwriting bad. It's not gonna work. We've done this like every summer and it hasn't done anything.
She's like, this is the summer we're going to fix your
My
handwriting.
mom makes me do writing prompts over the summer.
I can tell.
Some of this will makes me do a word.
She's like, one, your handwriting is gonna get really bad, and two, if you don't write, you're gonna like not want to write.
All right, let's come back to this. We have 7/12 minus how many twelfths?
3.
3/12. So I'm glad to see that you guys used 12 as your common denominator. If you had used 24 or even 48 as your common denominator,
Still work, but it's way easier to do 12
Yeah, and you
because
have a
it's
lot more to
easier to
simplify.
simplify.
nice. Okay, so we did 7/12 minus, I did 3/12. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I subtracted, I got 4/12. And then, of course, 1/3. If you didn't recognize that 4 goes into 12, I hope you would at least recognize that they're both even, which would be like 2/6. Then you'd be like, wait, they're still even 1/3. So this student, I mean, also in addition to they need to find a common denominator, it's really important in adding and subtracting that you kind of protect the denominator, right? The denominator is not used just like a number. We're not going to subtract it. Okay. Thoughts on this? Questions?
I love my tell them what they should do.
All right,
I was
let's.
being dumb and being a hypocrite because I looked at mine and then I looked at yours and then I was like, what? And then I'm like, oh, I didn't simplify. And then I said, use your brain, and then I'm like, I'm being a hypocrite.
But also, I need to. All right, let's erase both sides. I have one more thing I want to talk about.
No, I erased with the wrong end.
I know they've lost their.
Wait, did I? I don't even know.
They both
All right, this problem, if you can just stick it in, I want to look at problem number 2, and then we'll be finished. Will you?
On top.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Where's number 1?
It's on the back, but I want to talk about number 2. Number 2 is the one that I liked, and I want us to talk about. Okay, so we're going to look at the model. What fraction does that represent? Here, put it inside so it doesn't get messed up.
Wait. 26.
Oh, okay. So I hear 3 1/3 so far. I heard 26. All right. Anything else? When you look at this, what do you see? Charlotte, what do you see when you count this? What fraction comes to your mind?
This one.
3 1/3. So you automatically simplify, because I see 3 2/6. That's the one that I mean, just straight up, it's 3 and then there are 2/6. Okay.
Yeah, I just see 2, 3, 2, 6 because there's 3 and then there's 2, 6.
Yeah. So this one, they give us, the question is, which numbers are equivalent representations of the fraction model? So we've already talked about 3 of them. Okay. I see 3 2/6 on here, so we could circle that. And I see 26. Does everybody understand how 26 is an option?
Yeah.
Charlotte, will you tell me why 26 is an option?
Because simplifying.
Okay. What else?
20.
There are 20 that are shaded and they're split into 6. Perfect. All right. Now, some of these other ones. All right, let's look at 3 3/6. Can that be an option?
No, it's 3.5.
Right. And if 3 2/6 is an option, you can't, it's not. So 3 3/6 is, for me, the easiest one to eliminate. What's another one that's easy for you to eliminate?
1 and 2, 6.
18.6.
Also, all the ones that are I don't know how to say it. Mixed numbers that don't have 3, because that's kind of already going to be wrong because there are 3 holes.
All right, let's look at 18.6. I heard 2 people say that. 18.6. What is that equivalent to?
3, right?
Just 3 holes. Just 3. No fraction left over. So that one's out. I mean, it's kind of close to 26, but it's 2/6 short.
What about 1 and 9, 6?
All right, what about 1 and 9/6? What is that equivalent to?
2 and 3/6.
Yeah, it would be.
Nice. So
2.5.
2 and 3/6. So 2.5. So that's not what we're dealing with. So that one's out. Okay. What's another one you could eliminate?
1 and 14
6.
1 and 14 6.
I don't know. What is 1 and 14/6?
It equals 3.
Yeah.
3.
All right. How does 1 and 14/6? How would you even tackle that? What would you do?
So we have the 1 and then I did 6 times 2 is 12 and then I got rid of 12. That 3.
Yes.
Then I have 2 6 left and then I got 3.
Okay. So when 6 goes into 14, that's 2 holes with 2 left over. Plus the 1 hole is 3 and